School of Rock is the world's most revolutionary music school with programs for ages 3 and up.
So I started surfing when I was like 2 or 3. My dad was pushing me into waves at Driftwood down in Venice. And that's pretty much where I learned. That's where I caught my first wave, and that's where I grew up surfing. I've been surfing Mavericks for like 3 years now. Going back to that day on the 8th, I caught a wave early, just like a nice fun one on the shoulder, and completed it, rode it to the channel. So that felt good. And then I was like, okay, I really want to get a bigger one. Yeah, that wave came in, and I was in the perfect spot. I was like, okay, here I go. And I whipped it, and I started piling as hard as I can, and get to my feet and look down the face of this thing, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this wave is so much bigger than I thought. But I was like confident. I was like, I got this. And I airdropped like just a little bit and just disconnected from my board, and then it's just complete like chaos. You're just getting whipped around, limbs everywhere, like don't know where you are, don't know up or down. And I don't know how big it was. It's always hard to say. I would say it's probably like between 30, 40 feet maybe. It felt pretty big. I was pretty scared of big waves when I was young. Didn't really have any desire to surf big waves. I always was like interested in them, but I was always scared too. And I started surfing with Eve's Bright a bunch. He's been surfing Venice since he was a kid. So I started surfing with them a bunch, and they kind of showed me like, this is what you have to do if you want to get more comfortable in bigger waves. And so I just kind of listened to them and surf with them on bigger days. And it's a hard thing to explain, because like when you're out there, you're so in your head, everything's telling you no, no, no. And then all of a sudden here comes this wave and something switches and you're like, oh, this is the one. And once you hit that switch and turn your spin around and go for the wave, there's really no turning back. What's next? Well, I definitely want to obviously be at Mavericks every swell again next winter, and then for sure Jaws. That's a huge goal of mine. Well, I just want to say thanks to everyone in Venice and at home for supporting me, and thanks to my parents for supporting me. And it feels good to come home and feel the love from everyone.